So, big weekend this weekend, Alex.
Some might say the most epic weekend in nerddom.
It could have been.
Yeah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. Something was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and something else was great.
Yeah. We'll let you find out what it is.
Perfectly balanced.
Or actually,
as all things should be.
Or you could just listen to the other episode we recorded and then you would know.
Yeah.
But we're going to pretend you haven't listened. You know what the two epic things are. Unless you're listening to this like a year from now and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What came out at that? They didn't say the date. Like, you know. But anyway. Yeah, so we had both Endgame and the Game of Thrones premiere.
Yes.
I'm assuming we're kicking it off with Endgame box office news.
This is, I mean, you know, we cover news every week, but this is historic news. Like
Historic.
It's not, and I don't even like, that's not hyperbole. This is monumental. This is absolute insanity.
What would the total take was 1.2 billion, right?
1.222 billion.
Oh, 3.2s. That is monumental.
Well, the thing is,
the
reason I know is because the estimate was 1.2 and then it went up from the estimate by 22 million.
So if you chopped off that one in the front and John Carter just made the 222 in its opening weekend, we'd be on like John Carter 4 by now.
It's very true. That is not a false statement, actually. Yeah.
What was in second for opening weekend?
Actually, Captain Marvel. She leapfrogged like all the new releases after she came out because people.
No. But the biggest opening weekend ever.
Oh, biggest opening weekend. Number 2 is Infinity War.
With
domestic was 257.
Okay.
Worldwide, and this is an apples to orange comparison because worldwide it did, I believe, 670.
Okay, but it didn't open as widely.
It didn't have China. You add China in that, and it's 820.
But it's still only 2/3 of what the Endgame made. Right.
Which is why this is monumental, is that there's never been a spanking of the number one to this degree, both domestically and worldwide, ever. Like, people were saying like there's not enough seats to reach 300. That's like saying that there's, you know, a third of the or like 20% of the theaters is empty.
One of the theaters in Madison where we record had a showtime every 30 minutes from 10 a.m. through the entire day.
I'm not surprised.
Long, yeah.
I mean, they had stories about how like theaters were staying open 72 hours for the whole weekend to get as many screens. I mean, that shit just doesn't just happen, you know? But the fact it did 866 foreign, and it did 356 domestic. The fact that it beat the previous record by 100 million is absolutely astonishing. And then the fact that it's almost at $1 billion outside of the US is, I mean, I've said it before, this could be the Avatar killer. We don't know yet. That's 2.7 billion.
It's going to depend on legs.
Yes. And I'm not comfortable enough. If this hits 2 billion or is very close by the end of business on Sunday, this has a pretty good chance of beating Avatar. It would have to kind of collapse if it's not at 2, you know. But I mean, it has stiff competition with John Wick, Pikachu. I feel like I'm missing a third.
Pikachu is coming out.
Oh wait,
that's
Aladdin.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah, see, that's funny. Disney is just going to make too much money this year. Well, Congrats to them, but
they cannibalize themselves though, because they just stack these. They have like a new release every month. I mean, if you have a massive hit like this, Aladdin's just taken away from money from your real winner.
I think they'll do fine. I think overall they make money. They will.
But I mean, it's almost a foregone conclusion that this is beating Titanic. Like it's almost a certainty that this is number 2 worldwide and domestic.
So instead of the ladies going to see it 735 times, it's just the nerds that are going to go see it 735 times.
Well, the interesting thing is like the domestic, like the demographic like breakdown on this, it's basically 50-50 men and women.
Okay.
And, you know, it basically breaks down, like, as far as like race, it basically breaks down as to what the populations are in the US. So,
Makes sense.
It's pretty fucking nuts.
It is nuts. Yeah, they've done a really good job at making money.
Well, it's a cultural event. Everybody needs to go and see how this ends.
Right.
If you're not a fan of one character, you're a fan of another.
And on that note, by the way, I fucked up the intro again. Our topic today is, where does Marvel go from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're Marvel. Apparently we're taking a break from Marvel.
After this.
Alex has said
Yep.
he's okay.
Yep. I mean, well,
everything has been...
If they come out with news, we discuss the news. But as far as like topics and movies...
No news. No Marvel news.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
I could do that. I mean, that'd be fine. I mean, we just won't have a very big news section.
80% of all news is Marvel
It's
news.
crazy how much they dominate even the news cycle.
Yeah,
it's really nuts. But yeah, I mean, we can get off of that topic. It's just crazy. I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored by this. And it's not even that I'm like a Marvel fan. It's just... This is history.
It is history.
I mean, can you think of a movie getting close to this for opening weekend?
No, but inflation plays a factor, I guess. I would guess. I'm not sure.
There's always that argument, and it's not wrong.
It's fine.
It's not wrong.
It doesn't lessen to me what they've done, but I can imagine like old school days, people lined around the fucking block. I mean, that's like, you know, it took effort to deal with that shit.
I believe that this might be, adjusted for inflation, the biggest opening weekend.
I think it sold the most tickets.
Yeah.
Right. But again, it's the marketing's different. Ticket purchasing is different.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There are advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
Like right now, like I've always said, none of those old movies had to deal with theater quality entertainment in your household, streaming, video games, cable, the internet, YouTube.
Right.
I mean, the things that are vying for people's attention and money and dollars is vastly more diverse.
Right.
So it's apples to oranges. It will forever be apples to oranges. But we got our first casting news for Tom and Jerry.
And what is that casting news exactly?
Chloe Grace Moretz is going to play the human
I did see that. She's playing the mom.
She's playing
Wasn't it like an old lady with a broom?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so they're fucking this up already.
Yeah. I mean, was there any doubt? Really? I mean, it's a Tom and Jerry movie. Like, nobody's going to give this the time of day. I mean,
if it looked good and it sounded like it was good, I'd be kind of excited for a Tom and Jerry
movie. I'd
movie.
check it out. I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, I'm going to see it just because I'm a fucking idiot and I see everything. But
I mean, there is something to be said about Hollywood in general. They kind of just push the old people out, you know? I mean, people like to decry like the CW shows because it's just a bunch of young, pretty people. That's Hollywood. I mean, this was a perfect chance for Meryl Streep to get her 15th Oscar.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. Meryl Streep could have done it.
We should have started that. I mean, we did.
Meryl Streep and Tom and Jerry.
And then we got our first look at Dr. Robotnik.
Oh, my goodness.
Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog live action film.
It looks so stupid, his look as Dr. Robotnik. Are you fucking kidding me?
It reminds me of like what Bryan Singer would have done with a Sonic movie.
Oh, because you can't have the costumes.
You can't be cartoony and fun in a Bryan Singer movie. You got to be dark and serious, dark leather. But yeah, I mean, the fact that he's got the goggles, and he's got the red suit, but he's not fat, and his mustache isn't ridiculous. And I feel like Dr. Robotnik was bald. Didn't he have like the whole horseshoe thing?
No, he had like hair coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that. He's got the standard like 2019 like hard part.
He's got the he almost looks like he did in like Me, Myself, and Irene.
Right.
Or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So another movie that we're going to judge off of one single picture.
2 pictures. We did see that Sonic
leak.
Oh,
that's right. Yep. That's all
Hopefully
we need.
They're fixing that.
So, yeah, there's that.
Is it possible that they purposefully leaked that so they could get a reaction and then fix it if it was shit on by everyone?
I don't think that this movie has enough budget to fix that.
Got it.
Detective Pikachu, last thing for the news, really slow week. I mean, it's almost like people are just avoiding Endgame, even with their news.
Right.
But Detective Pikachu is actually getting good reactions on social media
It
from
looks
first screenings.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be fun.
I would agree.
I mean, I'm still not 100% sold on the idea of like Deadpool is Pikachu, you know, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It'll be fine. It'll be a fun time.
Is that it for news?
That's really it for news. There wasn't shit this week.
So I've got one trailer to discuss.
Oh,
Have
what's
you
that?
seen the trailer for 21 Bridges?
21 Bridges. No, I haven't.
Pause it up.
Looks like we're going to take a break. I realized I was going into like some sort of accent.
So Alex just watched the 21 Bridges trailer. It looks pretty fucking good.
My reactions were, oh, hey, wait, what? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I should have just recorded myself listening to it.
Yeah, we really should have. It's got Chadwick Boseman, J.K. Simmons, Keith David is in there. Taylor Kitsch is in there.
Oh.
John Carter.
Yeah.
Who needs a comeback. He's still
He's
reeling.
been trying for a while.
He's still
Hollywood
reeling.
said, get out.
He's still reeling from that summer of Battleship and John Carter.
Oof.
But I don't think he's a bad actor.
I don't think so either.
But yeah, it looks great. It's produced by the Russo brothers, directed by Brian Kirk, who directed some episodes of like Penny Dreadful. This is his first major motion picture.
They're giving him a chance, which I like. I like that the Russos are like, hey, we got our start in TV. We're going to give a TV director a shot.
Yeah.
This is a stacked cast.
Right.
Looks awesome.
It does. It has that, like, you start bobbing your head to the rap music that's playing, and it's got that like gangsta vibe to it.
But, but I mean, I'm excited because I love Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
I love J.K. Simmons. These guys are great. So,
and I'm a big Keith David fan.
He's great.
From the old John Carpenter movies and shit.
Well, and I mean, he was the voice of Goliath in Gargoyles. So,
there you go.
He'll always have a special place in my heart.
But yeah, so it looks like the premise is there's cop killers, Chadwick Boseman, like his dad was a cop who got killed or something, and they shut down the city a la Batman style to stop anyone from entering or exiting.
I like that as a premise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm second guessing if he actually is the voice of.
All right. Well, we'll fact check that.
Yeah, we're going to fact check that.
He was the guy in They Live that fought Roddy Piper for 5 full minutes to put the glasses on.
That I do know. He was also in The Nice Guys.
Oh, and he was great in that.
He's
just great.
He's just great. Yes, he was the voice of Goliath.
All right. Okay.
Everyone
breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, by the way, you fact check your last week comment. Hannah series on Amazon. That I confirmed. Are you just going to fact check it now on the show since you have it up?
It's not Hannah. It must be Anna.
You're going to find a movie.
Anna. It's Anna.
Anna?
It's Anna. It's a 2019 movie. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So I'm getting fact checked on my...
I said Hannah or Anna, so we're actually technically both right.
So what the fuck is Anna then?
Anna's the movie that I thought looked badass as fuck.
I'm going to have to watch a trailer for Anna.
Let's do a pause right now. Trailer time impromptu.
Yeah, so Anna looks like the next iteration of the Lady John Wick kind of action movie. It does look pretty badass, though.
I think it looks even better than, what was that?
The Charlize one?
The Charlize one,
I never saw that.
I didn't either. I'm still going to check it out.
I do really like Luke Evans. He's in there.
Luke Evans is in it.
Cillian Murphy.
Yep.
Helen Mirren?
Yeah.
Was that who I saw?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks good. So, I was wrong.
That action looks pretty cool.
It does. Now, this is where I get the sexist, hate women comments, but here's where these are tough for me. Like, this is like a little skinny chick, and she goes into this restaurant in the trailer and just whoops the fuck out of all these like big dudes.
She does have guns.
She does have guns, but she's also fighting.
From what I can remember, I mean, in what we just saw, she's using mostly weapons.
Okay.
There's very few like punches, and she still gets knocked around.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a movie.
It's a movie. Right. But that's where if you guys want to listen to our conversation on why female superheroes don't often work,
that's
or
Jackson's,
why they fuck them up.
That's Jackson's stances.
That's one of my synopses of why it's tough. Because it's a dude movie, right? Anna is a dude movie.
Yeah.
Generally, it's towards the male audience.
That's who.
Maybe you'll get some more females in there because it's a female hero or whatever.
Right.
But in general, like, there is something you do have to rework your brain a little bit to accept that chick kicks all these dudes' asses. Whereas when it's like Keanu Reeves, I mean, he just look at the guy.
But also,
he's just all brawn and.
But this is where I look at these ladies or this lady, and I say like these ladies. Well, I say like she's clearly a trained individual, and these, I mean, maybe they are bodyguards, but I feel like when you get an assassin versus like a trained bodyguard, I mean, there's one of these dudes who does this for a living, like to kill people. Right. So, I mean, I feel like assassins are probably better at their jobs.
That's fine, but if three big dudes grab her,
right,
she doesn't have the muscle mass. There are physical attributes.
Dudes don't have a chance to.
Well, right.
Once three people grab anybody.
But it's a little the best assassin male versus the best assassin female in a fight.
Right. Well, I mean, we're getting into the whole, like, why don't women play men's sports? And it's because there's certain things that the male body, especially like a professional athlete, can do. But I mean, there are things like in assassin work that bridge the gap, with like knives and guns and whatnot. So
all I'm saying is you watch the trailer, it looks fucking badass, but I'm just putting it out there. As if you guys think you're going to get this Lady John Wick, there are aspects you need to think about.
Well, it's one of those things where we're spending so much time on this.
It's an interesting topic, though.
I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's just the thing that I've always thought about these is that you need to find a way to make it believable. And it doesn't matter who it is, like the fact that John Wick is so good, I've often said is a little unbelievable. Like, you're a human.
It's not realistic. You're right.
Right. So, I mean, you're a human. So, and it's same thing goes with these women. It's like, I want to see these people like get knocked around. I want to see like a broken bone.
You want to see her get her ass kicked a little bit.
Everybody in action movies should get their ass kicked a little bit.
And who knows? Maybe in the movie there is a scene where she just can't overpower. You know what I'm saying? Like she ends up having to get back at someone for kind of putting her down because she's a woman, which would be interesting.
Well, and there's always the strategy of like, okay, if you're weaker, then you do like, you remember the Sin City? Sure. When it was, little Frodo.
Oh, Elijah Wood.
Yeah, Elijah Wood versus Mickey Rourke.
Sure.
And it's the whole, like, if he can stay away, he's got a chance against this guy. Okay. But the second that he gets in, he's fucked. Yeah. Because he can't take the punch.
Just in general in these action movies, though, it is kind of funny, like the choreography issue.
Yes.
Where it's like, it looks so cool, but you're like, that's not how people fight. Like, doesn't matter what gender the main character is.
Exactly.
It's just like, okay, well, why don't you all three jump on John Wick at the exact same time?
Yes.
Why do you like take turns going in for punches and whatever?
It's the putty thing.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
It's tough. That's why I like, you remember Old Boy, right? That's
Putty from Power Rangers, not from Seinfeld, people. Yeah, Old Boy. It's been a while. I need to rewatch that.
The first one, the only one in my opinion, when he's fighting the dudes in the hallway.
Yes.
That's one of the most believable ways of doing it is because he's got a hatchet and there's only like 2 or 3 guys that can come at him at once.
Right. Well, it also worked in Daredevil in a couple of the scenes they've had.
It's the whole, like, it's the 300 thing. You have to funnel people towards you. Then it becomes believable or more believable. Correct. But we spent way too much time on that.
Never too much time.
Let's go into shit we watched.
Cut it if you don't like it.
Famous last words.
So I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre again over the weekend.
How was that?
Oh, it's just, it's just a
delight.
Beautiful, awful thing.
Yeah.
It really is like the essence of that type of movie, like that fucking exploitation fucked up movie. There's not much like character building. It's really the first like teenager slasher movie.
Yep.
Like everything that came after it was kind of it was ripping it off.
It was one of the big movies, like when I was in film school, that we actually studied because it had such a massive impact.
Right. Well, and it's like one of the, I bet when it came out, it wasn't nearly as, beloved as it became over time.
It was one of those things like there's something wrong with you because you like horror because of this, you know?
But it's very well done.
Yes.
I mean, as far as just like the first kill in this guy like goes up to this house and you really don't know what's going on completely yet. Like they're kind of lost. And he just goes up to this house. They're trying to get like gas or whatever. And he knocks on the door and like the door's open. So he kind of steps in there looking for somebody. Yep. And all of a sudden Leatherface just pops up around the corner with a fucking hammer.
Yep.
Bangs him a few times on the head and drags him out. There's some really gruesome, disgusting shit too. And it's not that it's gory. It's just disturbing with like the final girl in this, which another thing. The
final girl.
Right. That comes from this. She gets kidnapped by the family, the twisted, fucked up family. And like, they cut her hand and have like the old grandpa who's like got really bad makeup on, like a prosthetic is kind of bad, but it works in the movie's favor because it's creepier.
Right.
Because it looks so weird.
Yeah.
It starts like sucking the blood off her finger and then the family's just nuts.
Yep.
And she's screaming like crazy. It's just a very like cerebral, fucked up experience to watch it. Really good though.
You remember that 70s show?
Yes.
They go and see that in the theater.
I never saw that one. That sounds interesting.
It bothered me a little bit because Hyde did his whole like, she slept with somebody. She's a whore. She's dead. And I'm like, that trope did not exist yet. You don't get to do that.
And nobody in this movie was that. Like,
yeah.
You know what? You're right. You're right. This movie isn't a good example of doing that joke on.
Right.
Huh, that's interesting.
At least I'm 90% sure it was Texas Chainsaw that they saw.
It's the 70s.
It was the 70s,
I mean, shit, at that point, I guess maybe, but that would be so early that even if anything else had come out, it's too early for that trope to exist.
Yes.
Like that was that happened in the 80s.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, it's a great movie. I'd give it like maybe an A-, but like it's one of those where it's tough because you have to watch it in the mindset of when it came out. It's very effective. It's creepy. There's like no character work though. Like it doesn't matter.
It's not what the movie's about.
Right. So yeah, I'll give it an A-. Yeah. What did you watch? Anything else?
So I finished the Santa Clarita diet.
And they just canceled it.
Did they?
They did.
Oh, good. Because I was just saying, I was just saying after like what happened in this last season, I'm like, this show sucks balls.
I just read that it got canceled.
Like
I think
the characters
this morning or yesterday.
Drew Barrymore is one of the most unlikable people in that show.
Really?
She blames her husband, like the whole like she can bite her husband and make him immortal by making him a zombie type person.
Sure.
But it's like, but you can only, like literally you can only eat flesh. You can't eat anything else. You'll vomit it up.
Okay.
And so like, he's all like, I don't know if I want to do this. And she's all like, you're a terrible person and you don't know if you want to spend eternity with me. And, if you don't want to do this, maybe we should just be done. And I'm like, you're guilt tripping your husband into eating humans?
Yeah, apparently so.
She's horrible. She's an idiot. She just is so bad at this killing people. And like, that's the whole thing is like they kill somebody and then they got to deal with the repercussions, or somebody sees something and then they got to deal with it. And it's just like this whole, like they're buffoons doing this thing, but somehow they get away with it all the time. And it's so frustrating to watch. And the humor is just awful. It's just some of the worst.
So I should not check this out. Although it's canceled, so now I'm out of checking it out.
Right. The only thing I liked, and I said it last time, the only thing I liked is like there's this little romance between the boy next door and the girl who's the daughter of Drew Barrymore and the guy from Justified. And she's great and he's great. They're the best things about the show. Their romance is the best thing about the show. And also there's this guy named Ron who shows up, and he is a comedic delight.
Okay.
He's got fantastic timing. I would love to see a series just about him, but they won't do it because I mean this got canceled. So and it had Drew Barrymore.
Well, it's funny that it got canceled because I've heard of this. Like this isn't a show in like the space that I would watch something.
Right.
You know, but I've still heard of it. So I'm surprised it got canceled.
It's not good. It's like, I suppose if you like 2.5 Men type humor.
I do like 2.5 Men.
Or like Big Bang Theory. If you like those, you might like it.
So it's like sitcom-y, very sitcom-y?
Very but
not like clever sitcom.
No, not clever sitcom. No. Like 2.5 Men, like season 12 or whatever.
Right. Well, even like 2.5 Men, when it's good, it's not Seinfeld or Frasier or The Office.
It was always, to me, it was always shit.
Okay.
I don't like it. I like Charlie Sheen. Doesn't mean I like the show.
Yeah, his one-liners make the show worth watching to me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So that's one of my watches.
In keeping with the theme of the exploitation, fucked up hillbilly cannibal redneck movies, I watched the original The Hills Have Eyes as well.
I have not seen the original.
So it's a ripoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
Wes Craven's ripoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not nearly as good.
Okay.
And it's funny because I just said about Texas Chainsaw, it's very simple, whatever. But whatever they were doing there, whether it be just the way it's shot, the editing, whatever, works great in that. This is not the same. This one is about this family that they go out into Nevada looking for a silver mine or something, and they end up on a nuclear testing ground where their car breaks down, and there's these radiation caused, cannibal fucking
it's a nice, neat premise.
Yeah, I mean the premise isn't bad. What do you call it when you have sex with your own family members?
Incest.
Incestual family.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get tortured and grabbed by this one of the dudes grabs a baby to take it back and eat it, and talks about the fatty meat of the baby and shit.
And here we thought that Jason Voorhees was just awful. Or Michael Myers.
It's so funny. That is true. It is true. How could anyone think they're just awful? One notable person in this movie that people might recognize would be Michael, I'm spacing on his last name.
Ironside.
Michael Berryman. He's kind of the freaky looking dude. He's been in a bunch of movies and shit.
Oh, right.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest he's in or whatever. Yep. Look him up.
Yeah.
But he's the one who steals the baby. And, boy, is he just a treat to look at in a fucking movie.
I feel bad for him because it's you're so typecast,
Right. And he actually, I don't think he's bad. He's pretty good, but it's a blessing and a curse for him, right? Because, somebody noticed him somewhere and said, hey, we need a sick, demented cannibal character.
Yeah.
Come on down.
I'm sure it's that Tyrion thing of wear your weakness as an armor and it can never be used to hurt you.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey. I'm sure that's probably what it is.
Fuck, I should have done this last. That would have been a good segue. but that's not how the cookie crumbles. Did you watch anything else?
I did watch one last thing.
Okay.
It was one episode of one of those nature documentaries. It's Our Planet on Netflix.
Okay, the new one with what's his name doing the narration?
I don't know who's doing the narration.
Is it Attenborough?
Maybe.
I think he has one, and he is the guy who does Planet Earth, Blue Planet, that sort of thing. Yeah, it is. It's David Attenborough. He's awesome.
This is simply breathtaking.
Yes.
I can
imagine.
There are three things that people need to. One, the cinematography is fantastic. This had to have been captured by drones because these people are they're so close. There's just no way.
Have you ever watched any of these?
I do. I watch them from time to time.
Yeah, they're amazing what they're doing now.
Yes.
It's insane, dude.
Especially if you have one of these new high quality HD TVs. It's just beautiful. But
even streaming, it looks insane.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
And the music, I was blown away by sort of the music, and I'm always really impressed with how they sort of frame and they can create a story with the footage that they get. Here's the mom and she's doing the thing. There is, they do a little bit about like flamingos and where they go and how they sort of raise their young or whatever. And there's this like trek that they all have to do, the young ones, because they can't fly yet. And they need to like go across like this like 20-mile basin or something.
Right.
And they show one who spent a little too much time on his legs. And so he's got salt like caramelized around his legs.
Ooh.
So he's trying to like keep up with everybody, but he's falling. He's dead. It just breaks your heart. I mean, he doesn't die. You don't see him die, but it just breaks your heart because you know he's dead.
It's crazy because now they're making them so it's almost like you're watching like a narrative story when they're going through like the different animals that you're following and shit. It's something else, man.
There's a fun one, which is a little bird that like all these birds have like, you know, the way that they try to entice their mates.
Right.
And there's one that does like what I can only describe as a jittering moonwalk, and it's and it's pretty sweet. And then the moment that I fell in love with the show was there's like these hyenas and they're coming after like this pack of wildebeests.
Always fun.
And
the good old African fucking chase down eating scenes are always great.
And it's this pack of wildebeest, but then they always go for the young. Obviously, they're
smart.
Yep. And this young is getting really close to getting hit and getting taken. The mom comes back and she's just so big, so she like shields the kid, and the kid is just in a full-on sprint, and then he gets to the safety of like the rest of the herd. And the music is fucking phenomenal. Like it's more moving than anything I saw in the new Game of Thrones episode.
Oh,
not even close.
Well, that's when you're like cheering it on. There was something in the last Planet Earth where like they showed these turtles that have to be buried and hatch like in this rocky beach area.
Right.
Now, once they hatch, the first thing they have to do is make it from that area to the actual beach or some shit.
Okay.
They're iguanas or fucking turtles. I don't remember. I think iguanas maybe. But anyway, they hatch. But to get there, they have to go through like all these snakes.
Oh, Jesus.
So you're like sitting there just like cheering on this iguana.
Let's go, turtle.
Yeah, and after
iguana.
When it's over, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Because like
you're cheering
it's a documentary.
You're cheering on nature.
Yeah, it's those are good.
Yeah.
And that guy's voice is just... He's just great.
It's beautiful.
The American version of Planet Earth, the first one, the BBC America version was Sigourney Weaver, and everybody was all pissed.
Really?
Because he's the best. So like when the Blu-rays came out, she was just gone. You know what I mean?
That's funny. All right, what's your last
My
thing?
last one is The Witch. So I have three trifecta of horror. This one, I'm going to have to make an admission here.
Okay.
I gave people shit for not really liking Hereditary. I liked The Witch the first time I saw it.
Right.
But I didn't think it was great.
Right.
And I think a lot of it had to do with expectations. Now, I feel like there's a lot of people that Hereditary might be. That's kind of the same deal for them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good as Hereditary.
Right.
I'll get that out of the way. I know a lot of people would say it's way better.
Right.
It is fucking good though. Like it is all about paranoia, which is kind of like the whole witch, thing period as far as, but it's like, it's there, but it's like actually a real witch. So it's like
is that
paranoia.
Because I do plan on
there's
watching
too much weird shit going on for you to believe that it's not a witch.
Okay.
Like, and it's not a witch in the sense that you're thinking.
Right.
Even when I say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, you should watch it. We should talk about this one. It's like super atmospheric. I really think a big factor in my enjoyment of this too is that they kind of speak in that like old timey English, you shan't do this and, thou and whatever, like kind of the Shakespearean kind of dialect. And I think in the theater, I had some trouble hearing some of that shit. Whereas I'm home alone watching it by myself, I just crank that shit up.
Right.
I mean, theoretically, if I wanted to, I could have thrown some subtitles on. But it is a movie where it's like, it takes you a few minutes watching it. Like, okay.
You got to acclimate.
It's weird. And you do acclimate, though.
Yes, you do.
It's strange.
I've noticed that with just about any movie that has somebody with a really thick accent, you eventually acclimate to it.
Correct.
to as much as you're capable of.
Right.
But that's interesting in that I think this is why I always say, like, if you respect a movie, if you respect the work that went into it, but you didn't love it, it's probably worth a second viewing because you might feel different the second time.
I would agree. Yeah. And it was one of those where I was like, I immediately, when it ended, was like, I'm going to watch that again soon. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, which was weird. Yep. Because, like, there's something towards the end of this that I cannot believe I wasn't blown away by the first time I saw it. Okay. Like, there's a scene in this, without giving anything away, that is so fucking cool and badass and weird that I cannot believe that I didn't walk out of the theater like, that was fucking amazing.
It might have just been your mood at the time. You know? I mean, shit like that happens.
It's so weird. But yeah, everybody watch that one. I'll let you borrow that too. All right. So you can watch it. But yeah, other than that, I mean,
we are on to such disappointment.
Yeah, Twitterverse is going nuts. People are going nuts over this episode of Game of Thrones. We're recording on Monday, so this was last night.
I feel like everybody is just, it's Game of Thrones, and people died, and it was a battle episode.
It's a battle.
I mean, I don't want to minimize it. If you liked it, fine. That's your bad thing. That's your own thing. I feel like from a potential standpoint, the potential that could have happened in this versus what we got, this is so stock Game of Thrones on autopilot that in that respect it's bad. Now, it's not super poorly executed. I'd give it like a C or a C plus for an episode, though. I don't think it was great.
I'll give it like a B- or B or something.
Okay.
But you're right. It's not the Battle of Blackwater. It's not Hardhome.
It's not the Battle of the Bastards.
It's not the Battle of the Bastards. It's not the Red Wedding. It's not the fucking Ned getting his head chopped off. It's not the Mountain versus the Red Fight. And it should be.
That's the
all
thing.
Of those things. It should be in that class.
What it should be because of what this means. I mean, this is. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the fight for humanity against the White Walkers.
Correct.
This is what your series has been leading to. It's basically this and one other battle.
Yeah.
And the way that this was handled, I mean, it's so anticlimactic.
Well, it's just odd to me, the strategy, too. And I don't know if George is going to end up going this way with it because
I really hope he doesn't.
To me, like... I always was reading these and watching these, at least leading up to this season or even before last season, whatever, thinking the squabbling going on between mankind is just a distraction for the real threat that's coming from up there. And nobody believes in that. And that is the real fight.
I've always thought that it was, and
the other one's not a real fight.
And you might be thinking that I'm throwing politics into this, but I always thought it was a little bit of a metaphor of like a metaphor for global warming or just natural disasters in themselves, because it's like you're all so busy fighting each other. There's something that you can't fucking talk your way out of that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that I don't know what exactly you can narrow it down to, but you're right. It's the political squabbling, and then there's this greater threat, and if you just all come together and fight it, then everything would be okay.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
I think that's pretty clear that's what it's about.
But apparently not, because...
Yeah. It's just about sneaking up on the dude and stabbing him.
Well, and the good guys are the only ones that have to fight the bad thing, and the bad guys can just hang it back. And you know what? And that's where the show has kind of lost its way too, is because there was a time when I wouldn't have classified good guys and bad guys as a thing in this universe, but now it's there. It's very clear. I mean, outside of the walkers who are just bad because they're this entity.
Right.
But even now within the classes, the groups, it's easier for me to just like, okay, they're bad, they're good. Whereas before it was always kind of, there was shades of gray.
I feel like there were shades of gray with certain characters, but I feel like a lot of them were pretty clear cut. Okay. Brienne is pretty clear cut. Tyrion's pretty clear cut.
I mean, Jon Snow has always been in the beginning, but
yeah. Prick but monster are two different things.
That's true. And Jon Snow has been ignorant at times.
ignorant.
Cersei, you felt bad for, even though she was a bitch.
But eventually she just became a monster.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. The show, it doesn't feel the same anymore.
No, it's not the same show.
Especially after last night.
I mean, I've got serious fucking gripes with this episode. I mean, one of the quick ones is the cinematography was not good.
No, that was my biggest problem with it. And they did this too. I can't remember the name of the battle when Mance Rayder and the wildlings came and attacked, and Ygritte got hit with the arrow from the kid, which was great. Great moment. Way better than any moment in this episode. But you couldn't really see that one either. I could see that one more though, and I distinctly remember that. Well, and there's moments of this that you can see pretty well, like when Arya's in the castle and things are. But there's a clear strategy to blur this up because we have to spend all this money on effects. It has to be it.
Oh, absolutely,
has to be
absolutely. And I would say because of that, you couldn't see shit. And a lot of it was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who is where. And that's really frustrating when you're trying to be like immersed in a show.
Right.
That's really frustrating. I mean, there were a few shots in the dragon battle that was okay. But I mean, the fact that the dragon battle lasted like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. They spent
so much time flying around in circles. Like, we get it. We get it.
Now we can get to the idiocy. Like, this is
all spoilers, by the way.
I have said that this episode is nothing but idiocy and missed opportunities.
Well, the strategy by the good guys, and I don't understand what they were doing. So
can we list all the dumb things that they did?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is I think the plan is, if I remember correctly, that the Jon and Dany are going to be with their dragons waiting for the Night King to show himself and attack him, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. So that's dumb in that you can torch these walkers with the dragons. But the dumbest thing, the thing I don't really get, and maybe someone can explain this to me, is you have the Dothraki and they have this great, it looks cool when Melisandre comes and lights their swords on fire.
Back when I was still on board with the episode.
Right, yeah. And then they charge, but like real quickly you're like, and it's a really cool idea. Like as they're dying, the flames are going out. It's a neat cinematic moment.
Yeah.
But you think about it and you're like, what was the point of that?
Right. Yeah. Like, why are you doing this? You can't see shit. And also the idea is like, I said it while watching it. I said it to my girlfriend. I said, if we had the atomic bomb at the beginning of World War II, would we have waited, or would we have gone and used that first to just end the shit? Because that's what these dragons are. And the fact that they're just sitting back, not doing. I mean, the least you could do is create a path of fire so that people could see.
Well, right. And right after that happens with the guys charging, like, why didn't you fire the flaming catapult shots before? Like, if you don't want to use the dragons yet because they have their own dragon, right? That's okay.
Right.
But what the fuck? And we're not sitting here as like strategic war minds by any means. But it is, you're watching it. You're right. There's moments where you're just like, okay, is this a nitpick, or does this just make no sense? And it didn't really make much sense.
Okay. So then there's the part where they light the spikes that are
the trench.
The trench. Yep, they light the trench. And then there's nobody there waiting. I mean, the fact that they don't ever think of the fact that these are undead.
They don't care.
That they can just do what they did is just, it's beyond me that nobody could think that they would use tactics that are different than the living. Like, Jon fought these guys. He knows they're undead. He knows what they're capable of. Just because he's never seen them lay down on a fucking fire doesn't mean he couldn't infer that they're capable of such things.
Well, it's like in modern day, in our real world, there's like certain terrorist groups and shit that are willing to fucking run in a building and blow themselves up. That's what these are. They're people who don't give a shit.
Yes. So, I mean, there's a part of me I was like, just keep the Dothraki, or not Dothraki, the Unsullied there. And they just sit there and stab whoever walks through. It's just another line of defense. And if you had somebody there who was just kind of like, all right, let's pick up the bodies and just sort of shove them back over, You'd be fine.
You're just lighting their clothes on fire as they fall onto the fucking thing. You could just relight them.
Yeah. Why isn't
the dragon just going in circles?
Yeah.
Just burning everything.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's and like when they're piling up like the Helm's Deep style with like the ladders and shit, or I don't even think there's ladders. They're just like using each other.
Yeah.
That and John at that point is like sitting with his dragon like on the side of the building or something, and
for 20 minutes just doing nothing. Danny takes one of the biggest advantages that she has, which is an aerial advantage, and she lands
the only advantage she has.
Well, yeah, basically.
I mean, what else is she gonna do?
Well, I mean, she's got fire, so I mean, she's basically like a flamethrower just running around in the Middle Ages. But the fact that she lands basically in a sea of undead is pure idiocy. Like, John, he's running after the Night's King, and we all know what he's trying to do. He's going to stab him, and he's going to save the day. But the framing is so poor because he's so far away.
This one didn't bother me as much as it did you.
This one bothered me because, like, it was a matter of, like, all you had to do was have him be closer. And it instantly makes it more dramatic because you're like, can he get there? Will he get there?
Right, but you could also be playing he's so desperate that he's going to try no matter what.
Yeah, but he seemed like an idiot because there was no fucking the second that the dude's hands go up, it's like run the other way because you're surrounded by enemies.
Well, and it's funny because at that point, like, they know the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so why even, I mean, I get it. They knew that the Night King was the goal. Yeah. They did. But it didn't seem like as much focus was on the Night King as should be.
Also, I mean, okay, so Danny landing, that's one. John being an idiot, that's another. The trench is one. The Dothraki is another. The fact that Bran is a dude who can warg and he doesn't do shit with that.
Yeah, I don't understand what he did. He
flew birds.
I saw a meme today that he went and watched Endgame during the battle scene.
Time well spent.
He warged into a bird, and then you're like expecting them to like do something with that, and they do nothing, which is odd.
It's like, dude, take the birds and run into the fucking Night King's face. Make him fall off the thing. Yeah. Anything. Do anything, Bran. You have superpowers. Do anything. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's weird, though. It's like, and they don't do a good job of explaining, like, what his purpose is in the world. Like, is he not supposed to fuck with the conflict of man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there doesn't seem to be any reason he can't do something.
And then I hated the fact,
should have taken Ghost over and ran around and fucking did some shit.
Would have been cool.
Yeah.
But I hated the fact that, like, we've got this big bad and he's killed in one of the most anticlimactic ways, but that's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is, like, they didn't do anything with it. They didn't do anything with, like, who is the Night King? How is he made? Why does he feel the need to kill Bran? Why did he actually decide to go into the battle instead of just hang back and do nothing and let everybody else take care of it and win the fucking day? Like,
I think he's obsessed with killing the three-eyed raven or whatever. That's his, like, purpose.
Fine. He does realize, like, everybody was an idiot in this, not just the humans. The undead were morons too. Like, send one of your dudes. Would have been fine.
Or yeah, if you want to kill him yourself, have him go pick up Bran and bring him to you and kill him.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
It is weird. It's like there are a few bits where it's like a line of dialogue to... Because it's possible that this shit has been explained in some ways, but they don't reiterate it. So you're going into it not really understanding...
They said last episode that he wants to kill Bran because Bran is like the memory of humanity.
Right. He's like he's what's standing in his way.
Right.
Like, until he's gone, he'll never really have won.
Yes.
Right.
And so, like, I get that. But the fact that, like, I don't know who he is, they never deepened the mythology. There was no twists in this. There was no real story in this.
There was no twists. You're right. I mean, I guess it's a twist that Arya pops up and kills him.
I guess. And then they kill nothing but red shirts in the whole fucking episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's a few that are a couple tiers above red shirts, but they didn't kill any of the platinum tier.
Right. I will not. Okay, I'm being hyperbolic there. Like they're obviously not red shirts.
Like
they have lines. And they're real characters.
Right.
But the fact that there is a clear tier system with the characters, and Jorah is not. He's not Danny. He's not John. Those characters dying, that would have meant something.
There's still time to kill him.
There is. I'm just saying the fact it was so predictable. You know,
You're right.
They killed it. Like they killed the one dude from the wall, and I'm like. I'm supposed to care?
Gren or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
And I like that character.
But I mean, like I care.
You're right though. Yeah.
It was one of the most toothless episodes of Game of Thrones ever.
Like if you wanted to really have an impact, you kill like Brienne, Jaime, Tyrion, Sansa, Arya. I'm not even going to put Bran on the list because fuck Bran. I don't give a shit. I don't think anybody really gives a shit.
Now,
but do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I mean, I've ripped this episode to shreds, but there are things that I like, and I think we both like basically the same things.
So the first thing that I thought was like masterfully well done and just a lot of fun and intense was the Arya sneaking around the castle with the zombies in the library, and like that whole bit was fucking awesome.
And I liked it a lot because of how different it was and how it stood out, and the cinematography was better there, and the tension was better there.
Right.
The only problem I had was I was like, there's so many of them. Like, why are they walking around quiet? Like, they seem to just run in and kill. Like, and why wasn't it like super loud outside? Like, how come we're not hearing the screams and shit?
That's a good point. Those are kind of nitpicky.
They're nitpicky, but it's one of those things where I'm like, it's a fun little scene. I'm not sure if it makes sense.
Well, so I don't think they know she's in the library,
which was why I was like, I don't know why they're
searching. They're searching.
Yeah, I don't still know why they're not like just. I was a little surprised there were so few of them in the castle. I think that was kind of the thing.
Well, they're kind of getting fucked up and fighting outside.
Right,
I mean, it worked. It worked. It was like, it was fun to watch her kind of play like the stealthy, you know. And then the other part that I really liked was Tyrion and Sansa's moments down in the crypt.
Best moments of the episode because they actually meant something.
Right. And like him like trying to, you know, battle with the idea that like he can't help in this situation, even though we know watching these idiots do this battle plan that he could have fixed the whole fucking problem.
He really could have. Well, and then there was a part of me who was you know, like we talked about, like they start climbing each other and they start going up the castle.
Right.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know, like back in the olden days, they had like hot oil.
Dump it on.
Yeah. And I'm like, the fact that they don't have any, they have like nothing. Like they're so ill prepared. It seems like what a modern person would think a olden day battle would be.
Right.
It seems so ill conceed.
Yes.
It's astonishing for a show as well thought out as this show.
It's no Helm's Deep.
No. I kept saying that throughout the whole episode. I was like, I want to watch Helm's Deep so bad after this because that is masterful.
Right. And it's not just the effects. It's the decisions being made and the way that it all works out makes sense.
Right. Well, and I think of like the assault on the wall by the undead or whatever. Sure. That was one of those ones where like there was an escalation to the episode.
Are you talking about the Mance Raider wildlings attack?
Yes, that one. Right. Yes, there was an escalation to things.
That was great.
There were tons of like, oh shit moments. Yes. Like that changes the fundamentals of this battle.
Right.
There was basically none of that here because we already knew everything. There were no surprises. It was very just. This is what it is.
And you really set up like, okay, episode 2 was all about getting you prepared, right?
Yes.
Like you're going to lose these people. People are going to die. And it's going to be rough.
And then you don't lose anybody.
You don't really lose many people. You don't lose the ones that you're super concerned with losing.
Agreed.
I would say like as big of a fan as I am, like I should be really upset that Jorah died.
Yeah.
But it wasn't done effectively.
He was one of my favorite characters.
I was way more sad just to find out that he had grayscale.
Yes.
When that happened.
Oh, yeah.
More upset.
I cannot believe how sort of botched certain moments were. It was really crazy. I'd say maybe my favorite moment because it was the one that came with the sense of relief was when she killed the Night King. Not not clever, not interesting, doesn't do anything for your world really, like in an interesting way.
It gets rid of the
but like
by flipping a light switch.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah, and so like it was cool to see her do it because I love Arya. She's one of my favorite characters, but it's just so okay. Well, there's that. You know?
It's true.
And then the worst thing is, and like people be like, you're a fan of the Avengers movie, like how can you say this? But like, there's something just sort of boring and annoying about like,
annoying.
Yeah. Something bored and annoyed. I'm very, but it's just annoying to have the whole, like, you kill the one thing and everything dies. It's the episode 1 thing with the droids.
Right.
It sort of bothered me because I'm like, like you got your magical out.
Yeah. I mean,
we never found out like anything about the Night King. I cannot believe that. Like, we found out his origins way back in the day, but it would have been so much more effective if we had found out, like, he is a brand.
We didn't get like a great amount of his origins, though.
We just found out, like, we just got basically this is what happened to make him him. But that's it.
But
like,
we don't know who he is.
Who he is, why he does what he does. Like, why does he want to do this? That's interesting. Why does he want to make everybody undead? I don't know.
Because he's evil.
Because he's evil. Yeah. So interesting.
Right. It would have been more interesting to like, oh, there's gray to him too.
Yes.
Like, you know, I mean, people have fucked his world up and now he's, you know, this is the only way to protect his kind. I mean, I've kind of built that up in my mind for the character myself.
Right. But there's no answers in the show. And that's so frustrating. It's one of the most shallow episodes of Game of Thrones ever made.
You hated this.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, you guys had something truly special on your hands here with potential, and you squandered every ounce of it. I cannot believe it. I only give it a C+ because like it's Game of Thrones. I really, you know, it's
not a complete disaster of an episode of television.
No, it's not. Right. I mean, it is impressive what it can do based on the budget, and you know, like this was inconceivable 10 years ago. On that scale, you're right. It's impressive. From a narrative perspective, it sucks balls.
It makes me sad that people still don't get, though, why like people are fucking raving about this. There's a certain segment of people are raving about this episode. It's like, you don't even get why the show is good.
Well, it's
like, that's how I feel. Maybe I sound like a snobby asshole.
No, you're absolutely right. This is not what made Game of Thrones what it is.
Who the fuck thinks this was better than the Mountain killing the Red Viper or Joffrey choking and dying or who the fuck thinks this is better?
Right.
Who? People are saying this is the best episode ever on social media.
I don't think that they could be any more wrong. I think this is maybe the worst. This is the only episode, like literally, this is the only episode of Game of Thrones that's actually made me mad.
Well, like everybody's giving me shit because, and I will say I did come into work today and the first person I talked to, I said, I was a little bit underwhelmed, and he goes, thank you. So it's not like we're alone out there.
Good.
There are people that feel the same way, but it is like,
and if you want to like it, that's fine. Like, that's fine. I just feel like I have legitimate reasons for hating it. I really do.
I just want you to sit in front of me after you've had time to digest this and really think about it and tell me why this is so great. I just want to hear the explanation.
Yeah. Because if it's just Arya's a badass and Jon Snow is cool,
we know that.
Yeah, it's like nothing new,
right?
Nothing new or special or interesting.
All right, well,
garbage.
I mean, you're making me hate it more. Like, it's true. It is really not very good.
It makes me mad. I
hope that
excited.
The Cersei plotting is better coming up here.
I'm really not on board.
If they fuck up Cersei, like the whole Cersei thing too, like
so far, given that this has been a 2-year wait and this is what we've gotten so far, this is my least favorite season of Game of Thrones so far.
I'm getting shit because I thought the second episode was amazing, but maybe that loses a little bit of its amazingness because it led to this.
I mean, it's still a way, way better episode.
Yeah, it's 100% better.
And I was still disappointed in it, but it's still way better than this.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought it was great. One of the best episodes in years, in my opinion. But again, I'm not Like last night, full disclosure, Alex texted me right afterwards. I can't wait to hear what you think of this episode. Because I've been coming in each week. I've been the defender.
Yes.
You know? And I was just kind of like, I don't even know what to say. I was processing it. But I should be leaping out of my seat in joy that it was so good. That should be the reaction.
Yes. Well, I remember Battle of the Bastards. I was on the edge of my seat. I was jumping. I was like, fuck yeah. There were so many fuck yeah moments in that episode.
This was like the Last Jedi of Game of Thrones. Like you finish it and you're just like, what the fuck?
I don't even know if it's that. It's like the Thor 2 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, is it that bad?
It's stock bullshit where nothing interesting happens. At least Last
Thor
Jedi
2, some funky shit happened. I guess Last Jedi, some funky shit happened. But yeah, no, we don't need to talk about it anymore. Yeah, it's not very good.
Let's go to something happier. The Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Something that rarely lets me down.
It's true.
That would have been true of Game of Thrones like 2-3 weeks ago.
Vape time.
If you want to get your vape out, it's time to suck on the vape.
I thought you were going in a way different direction with that. Holy shit, you might need to cut that. Marvel.
Yes.
Where does Marvel go from here?
So full spoilers for Avengers Endgame.
Correct. Yes.
This is your warning. It's a great movie. We're going to make this warning as long as possible, so you got some chance to like get your phone and press the pause button. Say, fuck you, Jackson and Alex. Can't believe you didn't like Game of Thrones. I'm done listening to this podcast.
I hope we get comments.
Oh, we definitely will. But that's my life, though. Like, I hate things, and the people are just like, you're a monster. So yeah, I'm pretty used to it at this point.
But we did not hate Endgame.
No, we both pretty much loved it.
Yeah. Yes. So I had this conversation today with someone who's just like, so what? There's all these other heroes you can do. And I'm like, well, that isn't really the point, though. There's multiple issues that I see. Maybe they're not issues because Marvel seems to just do everything. They just shit gold.
Yeah.
But to me, losing Tony Stark hurts big time.
Right.
Because he's such an awesome fucking character. There's Captain America fans too. He's awesome. But you have to, you did now set a precedent, more importantly, of this was it. All the big battle shit you've done over the course of these 22 movies now paled in comparison to this.
Yes.
So you need to start from scratch, I guess.
What you need to do is you need to start small and you need to start intimate. Because small and intimate, what I know,
like
some
the
people,
Spider-Man movie was that. Like Homecoming was that. Yeah. I would say
you need to do that. You need to get back to like, it's okay to have the climax be, Bruce Wayne facing off against Two-Face in a hostage situation. Right. That's okay. And you can do that with Spider-Man. You could do that with Iron Man if you really wanted. Not now, but you could have.
You kind of did that with him and Obadiah Stone or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was just a hand-to-hand combat fight for control of the company, basically.
Basically, yeah. So I think that's how you answer that, is because, it's going to be tough to outdo that battle at the end.
But it's just going to be weird, too, because I feel like a lot of these now, because you still have a shared universe, so you're still going to have movies where characters are popping in and out of these things, but it's like now you've got this fucking thing hanging over it that was so epic and ridiculously crazy.
Yes.
It's going to be tough.
I mean, it's going to be, like I said, I feel like Marvel sort of has been dealing with this for a long time. Like the whole they did it crazy good in the Avengers. How do you do that? Joss Whedon said, and he didn't exactly make good on it, but he's like, there's the temptation to go bigger and more explosions and whatnot. But the way that you make a better sequel is you go deeper and more personal with the characters.
Okay.
And that's what Marvel is just going to do here. And you're still going to get, there's going to be an Avengers movie in 3 years or whatever, and it's going to be the new people. And that's where you're going to get your big splash page moments.
Well, and that's where people like me are going to be like, oh, not my Avengers. Because I'm sorry, but if the backbone of your Avengers now is Brie Larson as Captain Marvel,
she's not the backbone.
But I know, but she's going to be one of the.
She'll be one of
the big Avengers, you know.
And if her next move, and this has always been my stance. Marvel sort of knows, okay, if a character isn't done well, either we put them on the back burner, or we really retool them. I mean, look at what they did with Captain America. Look what they did with Thor.
I say Thor is the best example of that.
Right. Well, Cap 1 was not well beloved.
It's true, but the character was kind of the same.
Yes.
Whereas Thor, I feel like they kind of like, okay, we're taking this too seriously right now. We really need to just play out this fucking funny, goofy Thor.
Exactly. And they corrected with the Hulk because they thought that people didn't like Edward Norton Hulk, so they made the Avengers Hulk, which is, I think,
more
to date,
fun.
the most beloved version of the Hulk.
Fuckers.
No, just the original Avengers one. I mean, fuckers. The scene where he's fighting.
Ed Norton's Hulk is the best Hulk in the MCU so far. Spider-Man 2 is still the best Marvel movie. Game of Thrones, whatever battle we just saw last night wasn't very good. Those are the 3 facts of life.
Facts of life.
That's all you need to know.
That's facts of life.
But no, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the case. I mean, what you do is you build the core team around characters that have a lot of good faith behind them right now, which is Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and I guess we'll see sort of how like these TV shows go with like the Wanda and Vision show or the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, which I'm wondering if they're going to retitle now.
I mean, who knows what they're going to do now? But you just listed all those characters and immediately I'm like that. It's odd for me.
Right.
I'm still going to go see the movies. But
right.
I'm not like, it's weird for me to reset my investment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because to me, the MCU is something I've been invested in for 11 years. And you've added these nice little add-ons. They're little trinkets, little bullshit. But the engine is still
Tony Stark and Captain
correct.
America.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like the whole universe was sort of structured around them. Their choices, the things that they did affected the universe. And that's why it's important that they're gone. And now somebody has to fill that void. The reason that it's so hard to see is because we don't know who's filling that void and we don't know how they're going to fill that void.
Well, I can already tell you like movies that I would be excited about. Like I'm excited about the idea of these Disney Plus shows.
Right.
I'm excited about Guardians 3, hopefully co-starring Thor.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I guess
Thor
I'm excited
with Taika
about
Waititi.
Yeah, sure. Or like Black Panther 2, I guess I would be excited about. Spider-Man, I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little, it just feels, it was such an event and there was such a finality to it.
Yeah.
That I not only do I worry about like the quality going forward, but I also am concerned that like the weight of what I just saw is diminished over time. Like, not only are the movies not that great going forward, but maybe in 10 years, I don't see Endgame as this fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Why would...
well, because it's like, okay, well, they just kept going anyways, and it was just more monstrosities that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes and no. Like, I mean, the comics are always going to be a sort of a sense of like diminishing returns and can we top ourselves kind of thing. That's just the nature of it.
But like, even like thinking about like Return of the Jedi, and I love that movie. I loved it more for a different reason then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that was a little different because that was actually supposed to just be the end.
Yes.
Period.
Yep.
But you know it's not the end. And like you say like, okay, well, you're always still going to have that. And I understand that like when people bitch about the new trilogy of Star Wars or the prequels, it's like you can pretend they don't exist and just watch them. But you know, right?
You do know. There's a part of me that says that that's sort of on you as the viewer to just say, I'm not going to let this new thing bother my enjoyment. Especially like, what if the movies that come out, like they just are good?
Oh, I'm sure they will be.
Right.
No, like that. Well, that's the other thing. Like, I'm not blaming them. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my perspective, what my concerns are over this.
Right.
But yeah, like, you know, people bring up like characters like Warlock, Adam Warlock and shit. Like, okay, I'm excited for X-Men. Right. I'm excited for Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. Like, please make Doctor Doom the new Thanos that you build up into this fucking thing.
I hope that Doom, I hope they do another sort of 3-phase thing where it's sort of like, I mean, you really look at the first 3 phases of Marvel and they really were like, they're just like a movie. It's like setup act, sure, complication act, and then the finale.
Right.
And I hope that they do that with the new characters because I feel like they're owed that.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. I mean, you can't in 3 or 4 more years be back at like an Endgame type situation.
I mean, you can. I mean, it's the idea of like, you know, there's always going to be threats, but you're right. You can't be at like a universe ending kind of one, which brings me to like, you got to go a little bit more personal. You got to stop with so many
CGI battle scenes.
Well, that may be
crossover characters hopping in other people's movies.
That doesn't bother me at all. I think the thing that you have to stop is maybe so many extraterrestrial threats. Because if it's just aliens coming to Earth all the time,
seems like it's been the thing. Like, I mean, recently.
And the way that they did it was it's all behind Thanos. Thanos was the whole thing. But you do need to ease up on that. It should be a lot of sort of Earth-based problems. How does Earth deal with the Avengers being gone?
Villains that are like,
terrestrial-based.
Right.
But then there are things that I would love, like so we're getting like these great hopefully great shows. We got the Bucky and Falcon. It's great news
that we're getting the shows.
Yes. Well, it's kind of nice because like you can spend time with Bucky and Falcon and, you know, if they show up after their show in a movie, you're going to be that much more invested in them because right now you're not super invested in them.
Right.
But I mean, you are, but you're not nowhere near Tony and Cap. And even you won't be close even after the show, but still. But then you got Wanda and Vision. That one's kind of interesting to me because Vision's still gone. What do you do there? I mean, in the comics, Wanda, I mean, she does one of the coolest fucking things. It's called House of M. She literally gives everybody on Earth the thing that they want.
Okay.
So like Spider-Man, like Gwen Stacy's alive. Wolverine, like his love interest is alive.
There you go, do that.
Yeah. So that could be the basis of the show, but it's all fake. And basically like they ended up having to kill her because she was fucking up reality, which was tragic and whatnot. But they could do that. Loki series, that's going to be a lot of fun, but you know, who knows how that's going to play into. And then you got Hawkeye. But then you've got really interesting things that I think you could do some really cool stuff with. Like you've got the Eternals coming out.
Okay, see, I know nothing about them, so I don't care.
The thing is
but that's not fair because maybe I'll care after I see their movie.
Right. Well, and the thing about the Eternals is it's supposed to be like sort of like a precursor to like Thanos. Like Thanos might show up in this movie. It's just going to be like a giant prequel kind of movie.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think we're getting into the point, and I hope, and we'll see, because we dealt with time travel in this movie. It's the first time time travel has really been utilized in the Marvel Universe. I think we might be getting some prequels, some things in the future, maybe alternate reality things. Maybe. I don't know. But the thing is like, this is how comics went. They just kept on getting more and more crazy, more and more ridiculous. I'm hoping that maybe the end of Phase 4, maybe the end of Phase 5, we have Kang the Conqueror, who kind of comes through and he's like, Captain, like you said about in our review for Endgame, Cap did some, like these guys kind of did some selfish things. Maybe they broke certain timelines.
Well, and that's what Civil War was about. They were a little bit fucking foolhardy and nutty with their bullshit.
So I love the idea of like maybe you bring Steve Rogers back, like old Steve Rogers, and Kang comes back and like kills him. And Kang's like, you guys fucked up the timeline. I am Kang from the future. I'm Kang the Conqueror.
I'm Kang from this other reality that you caused to be created because you fucked with this when you did this. And
then it can play into, you've got Fantastic Four because he's actually like a long distant relative of Reed Richards.
Okay.
So you could have that be like the personal tie to the villain. I think there's some, and then you could even tie in the Eternals, who apparently take place way back in time. That's how you bring them in, is you time hop back there, and the Eternals come and help the new Avengers or whatever.
Sure.
You know, I think there's lots of possibilities. I feel like things have actually just opened up. Like, yes, we lost two of the biggest ones, but the potentials are huge.
You are getting forward. The X-Men too.
Yes. Well, and that's the other thing is like X-Men, I mean, they can be terrestrial based. A lot of their good stories are terrestrial based, but there's also like those like bird people from space. I forget what they're called. The Shi'ar. That's what it is. Too many potential. Like, it's an embarrassment of riches is what they have right now. It is
nuts. There's still giant books of shit that they could do. With the X-Men.
Yeah.
Just a little deviation off course here, but how the fuck do you tell X-Men again without telling the same fucking story that we've heard 57 times?
I really don't know.
You just do it better and hope that it doesn't matter that we've already heard it.
I really don't know how they'll do it.
You agree that that's a problem, though?
It's the same problem they had with Spider-Man. I mean, they did pretty good with Spider-Man. They could have done it better, but...
Well, they just kind of skipped it in the latest. They kind of skipped all the origin stuff.
Which there's a certain amount of Spider-Man missing when you just don't deal with the Uncle Ben stuff.
Well, and you certainly are fucking with shit if you don't have Magneto and Professor X fully, fleshed out.
Right.
And you just go into their story.
I would love it if they built up to it. Like, I think one of the worst things that X-Men 1 does is it just uses Magneto right away. It's the thing that they did from the 2000s. They used like the iconic villain in the first film.
Well, it could be interesting if you like
maybe the first one is just about them dealing with the prejudice of humanity.
Well, yeah, it's just really fucked because like I was just about to go into, okay, maybe you start this one like in the past or you're younger or whatever, but you did that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's really tough. It's really tough. I feel like the thing that you do is you make them younger starting out.
Okay.
That's one thing that would help. And
can we just recast the two guys who play them now? I mean, obviously it wouldn't be smart, but they're both fucking good.
They're really good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really,
they're the shitty. They're the only ones I don't want to say bye to. Everybody else can go fuck themselves. I like Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, but even him, I don't care.
Well, he's not a good beast because they fucked with, I can turn off my beast thing anytime I want. Let's take away all the pathos of my character.
Right.
Dumb. Horrible decision.
Yeah, there's a few bad ones.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I don't know who you build the new series around, though. That's the thing, though.
Right.
Like, do you build it like Reed Richards could potentially be your new Tony Stark? He's a different version. He's very detached.
That's a tough one, too, because so many people find him so fucking corny. Like stretchy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like you use the stretchy shit. The best comics use the stretchy shit sparingly, and they deal with him as a character and an inventor more.
Okay.
And those are better. So you do that, but I mean, you could build it around him. You could build it around Doctor Strange being like, one of the new like pillars.
I fucking can't wait until we get more Doctor Strange.
Well, because Doctor Strange is interesting too. Because like, I mean, where do we go with this interdimensional? I mean, it's still interdimensional shit, but like, I guess there's still Baron Mordo out there. I don't know if that's an interesting sequel or not. Chewie Twell Ejiofor at the end. There are too many sorcerers.
Yep. Okay.
Well, okay. We just dealt with Thanos, so.
I liked that. He was like, he kind of turned into a bad guy, or he disagreed with Strange at the end, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good villain.
It might be. I
like that actor.
He's great. Well, he'll elevate whatever he's given.
Right.
But yeah.
Although we thought that about Mads.
He probably still elevated it.
God, what a shame. Like, if you had to cast a guy as an MCU villain coming up here, you just wish that card was still, you could still play it.
I still want him as Doctor Doom.
Or a hero, even. Put him as anything.
Yeah, he had eye makeup on. We can still recast him.
Yeah.
He
could be Doom with the mask on.
He really could. It would be fucking sweet.
I still say get Liam Neeson as Doom. He hasn't made it in the MCU yet, has he?
Has
wolves. Liam shown up in the MCU?
There are wolves in Latveria.
Black bastards.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. That's a callback.
Get him out there just being Liam.
Oh my God.
But no, I can't believe he hasn't been in the MCU.
He'll be in it eventually. Everyone will. We'll be in the MCU eventually.
Who do they announce is in it now? Not Sandra Bullock. What actress? Oh, Angelina.
Angelina, yeah.
And David Harbour, who just played Hellboy.
Yep. They're getting everybody, man. All the kids from Stranger Things are coming eventually. We'll get your what's-her-face from the Conjuring movies. We'll get her.
Oh, Vera Farmiga?
And her little daughter or sister.
She can play the young version of her.
They don't even have to do the de-aging CGI.
No, they just do.
They're just mother and daughter. But yeah, I mean, the point is we don't know what Marvel does.
But there's hope.
There is so much. I mean, there's more hope in this franchise than probably any franchise deserves to have hope after what just happened in that movie.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean,
you don't kill your two main characters and still have we're fine.
Where do we go with DC next?
Reboot
the whole fucking thing.
I'm sorry, Gal Gadot. Sorry.
Gadot. God, we just can't get that one.
It just sounds better with Godot.
Right.
Like if I were her, I'd say Godot. I just would.
Yeah.
I don't care what my parents said.
But yeah, I'm sticking with DC. You do we'll keep her in her own movies and keep the stuff that works, and let's just separate everything and do that for a while. Stop trying to build this fucking thing.
Well, that's what the Joker's for.
Right. Exactly. That's what you do.
Yep. I do find it funny. Like Marvel's like, we got everybody crossing over and look at this fucking shit. And they're like, I guess we could do a Joker movie.
Well, okay, here's a question. Do you kind of wish at times that you could get a Marvel movie that's not part of the MCU?
Oh, yes.
That's just its own thing.
Yes, absolutely. Because it frees you, because there's a certain... The problem is, and this is the thing that they're always going to struggle with, is you have to be family friendly, and there's a certain amount of a tone that you have to wiggle your way into
working in. Yeah.
Winter Soldier and Civil War tend to be the ones that are a little bit more outside of that tone.
Right.
So, but I also feel like I feel like Black Panther was a little outside of that tone too. It still had some of it, but not a lot.
But you're right though. But I do wish that I wish that I could get a new, Iron Man movie, or maybe that's a bad example because he was just so fucking good at it, but I wish that I could get a movie where the cloud of the MCU, not that it's this bad thing, wasn't hanging over the movie.
Yes.
This is another chapter of this huge thing.
Yep.
And it's almost how Guardians felt the first time you saw it.
Yes.
Because it was so outside of the norm.
And that's what you can do, and that's where I like the idea of alternate reality movies.
Okay.
Is you could do... One of my and I hope they don't make it an alternate reality, but I love the idea of the Dark Avengers, which is they get all these villains. Norman Osborn pretends that he's sane. He gets an Iron Man armor. That's where Iron Patriot came in. Is he wanted to be Iron Man for his Dark Avengers so that he could kind of do whatever he wants.
That sounds amazing.
It's fucking great. It's fucking he was oh, I don't have he's okay, we've got we have the archetypes. Okay, so I need a Hawkeye, I need a Wolverine, I need a Spider-Man, I need a big guy who's from space, who's a warrior. So I got Ares, the god of war, and oh man, but I don't have an Iron Man and I don't have a Captain America. Oh, I'll just fuse them and take the Iron Man armor that I have because Tony Stark is a wanted man after
something went
down. Yeah. It was a great story. Spider-Man was actually Venom. They just made him take some pills so he didn't go crazy and eat people. It was fucking phenomenal.
What? So we still have Green Goblin left to use. We
Yes.
still have Dr. Octopus left to use.
I feel like the other thing I'm hoping is that Tom Holland sticks around for a Harry Potter level of Spider-Man movies. Could you imagine the fun it would be to see him go from a 16-year-old kid to a 24-year-old?
Yeah, it'd be great.
It would be so
if he turned out to be the new Tony, he picks up the mantle of Tony Stark, that'd be interesting.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would completely agree with that. I loved his moments with Tony at the end of that movie. Got me real good.
He's a phenomenal actor. I'm still floored with the casting that they get in these movies.
It's stupid. It's really stupid how good they do.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the end of the episode.
That's fine. So long as you know they will never top Spider-Man 2.
So long as you know that that's an opinion, not based in fact.
Objectively.
Nope. There is no objective.
Yes, there is. Next time you say objectively bad about something, I'm getting you on that.
That's fine. I feel like, okay. God damn it.
We just can't end the episode.
I can't end the episode on that note. There is objectively good and objectively bad. I feel like, and there are things that are objectively better.
But it's opinions that kind of push certain things over the top.
Yes. Like you can say Winter Soldier is an objectively well-made movie.
Correct.
Now, can I say it's objectively better than Spider-Man 2? I don't really think I can make that argument.
Well, because of course you can't, because it's not.
But I don't think I can make that that argument about Spider-Man 2.
The other way around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could, because it's better.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. But anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Let us know what you guys think
of the Game of Thrones episode, especially.
Yeah, and our opinions on such.
Yes, and then also where would you take the MCU?
Yeah, I want to hear from I forget his name, but there was the guy who wrote in who reviews comics. I would love to hear what he has to say about this. But yeah, I think that's the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
I hope you didn't.
Just to be a contrarian.
Yep. Go to boredandanoid.com. Find our old episodes. Tweet me, Instagram me. All that shit is up there. So enjoy yourselves. Have a good week.